So no one gaslit herself harder into believing that affirmations were going to change her life than 23-year-old me. I read something in my early 20s that was like, if you write down your affirmations 3 times in the morning and 6 times in the afternoon and 7,000 times in the evening, all your dreams will come true. And I was like, that makes sense. That's logical. Where do I sign up for that? Do you need my fingerprints? What do you need? I'm down. I'm on board. No screen time in the morning, journal instead, done. I feel confident that all my deeply rooted anxiety, executive dysfunction issues, and inability to regulate my emotions will just cease to exist if I simply do not look at my phone before 9 a.m. and write, I am a successful person 7,009 times every day. So it was pretty disappointing when that shit didn't work. I kind of felt like I was doing it wrong. Like I was like, I waited until 9 a.m. to look at my phone. Why do I not feel rejuvenated? I journaled and then sat and focused on my breath for 30 minutes. Why don't I feel zen? Where is the zen? And as it turns out, I was looking for the zen in all the wrong places for me. Some people will find the zen in meditating and journaling, and that's amazing. But some people won't, and that's okay too. And I have to imagine that it's not just me wandering around looking for zen and motivation in all the wrong places and then getting mad at herself when she doesn't find it where it's supposed to be. So I was like, let me help out my fellow seekers of zen and motivation who are wandering right now instead of finding. I'm going to do that by sharing the 7 life-changing habits that I've tried that haven't worked for me and the habits that I have done instead to help me find my zen and motivation. And I hope they help you too. Oh, all right. Oh, that's a new lower back pain. Slowly. All right. No more laying on our stomach at age 29. Okay, so first life-changing habit is meditating. And I'm going to be organizing my closet as we do this, so don't mind me with all of my clothing. It's pretty much a disaster in here. Right now there's clothes everywhere, so it needs to be done. So feel free to do a chore along with me if you want, or don't. No pressure. I will not judge you for being lazy. You're not being lazy, you're relaxing. I will not judge you for relaxing, but I can't relax right now. So we're doing this. But alright, so meditating. You either love it or you hate it. I hate it. I don't hate you if you love it. If you love it, that's great. I just hate it for me. And before someone is like, oh, Morgan, it takes time. It takes practice though. I've given it the time. I've given it the practice. Okay, about 6 years ago when I was getting diagnosed with IBS, my doctor literally referred me to hypnotherapy. And so I would go once a week to listen to this woman talk me through very tranquil imaginary scenarios in a very comforting and hushed tone of voice, with the goal of making me less anxious and therefore making my stomach less anxious. And she would record those sessions and then I would go home and listen to them 4 to 5 times a week. They were like 30 minutes long. 4 to 5 times a week. And I did this for several months and I went in with a very positive attitude. I know it doesn't sound like it now because it's after the fact and hindsight is 2020, but in the moment, I really believed that it could work, because after about 2 years of trying to find a treatment for my IBS to no avail, I would try just about anything. If you told me that drinking tomato juice while hopping around in a circle on one leg and then learning how to do a handstand for 70 seconds would help my IBS, I would have done it. So I tried meditation and I tried it hard. And it did nothing for me. My brain did not feel relaxed, my body did not feel relaxed, and I was just pissed that I had to do it. So what I have now found puts my brain and my body into a relaxed, calm state is activities like coloring and puzzling, both of the jigsaw and crossword variety. I can get into a flow doing those activities because I have a physical thing that I am focused on. There is a finished product at the end, which that just tells my brain that it is worth doing. With meditation, there was no satisfying end product. I didn't feel like I was accomplishing anything, and so my brain really didn't see the point in doing it. But like with meditating, how you're focused on usually just your breath, with puzzling and coloring, you're also very focused on one thing. Even if you have TV on or music, you're still focused on the puzzle piece in front of you. But I just find that doing those activities, they get me away from my phone, they get me to forget about my phone. It slows me down, it just quiets the noise for a little bit in my head, and there's a lot of noise up there, so that's difficult. It just puts me in a much more meditative state than when a woman is telling me in a hushed tone to imagine myself in a field. Next is reading a ton of self-help books. I went through this phase in my early 20s when I just recently moved to Chicago. I didn't really have any friends. I had just broken up with my long-term boyfriend, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my career. And I thought that the answer was gonna be in a self-help book. So I was just reading all of them. And I found a few issues with that. One, I was creating new problems for myself because I would start reading a book and it would mention something about an issue that I really didn't even have, but now I thought I did. For example, I read You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, I think is how that's pronounced. And I liked it. I don't remember what I liked about it, but I know that I liked it. And so I picked up another book by her, You Are a Badass at Making Money. Except for the thing was, I didn't have any issues with my relationship with money. I had a pretty good job for just having graduated college. I was able to pay my bills. I didn't have debt. I was saving for retirement. I really did not need to be reading this book. Yet here I was now questioning whether or not I'm putting the right energy out into the world to attract money. That was something I'd never thought about before, and it kind of seemed like maybe I would have one less thing to worry about if that thought hadn't entered my mind via that book. Second problem was that I was changing up my lifestyle with every new book I would read, because I'd read one book and it would be like, do this, that, and the other thing for your morning routine. And then I'd finish that book, move on to the next one, and that one was like, actually, you should be doing X, Y, and Z for your morning routine. And so then I would switch it up. So I wouldn't stay consistent with things, and then I would also be questioning what even is the right thing to be doing because everyone was saying different things. And then finally, I wasn't reading any fiction. And this was a problem because fiction is kind of an escape. You're focusing on characters and a plot line that only exists in your imagination, whereas with a self-help book, you're focusing on you and your problems, and doing that constantly is not great for your psyche, as I learned. So because of these issues, I, one, started reading more fiction, which I found to be very meditative, much like puzzling and coloring. Second, I would never read self-help books back to back. If I was gonna read a self-help book, there was gonna be a fiction one in between. And third, I would identify an actual issue that I wanted to work on before picking a self-help book, instead of just reading random books that people recommended on the internet as life-changing, because I don't know what change their lives need. It's probably not the same as mine, so we probably need different books, but I wasn't taking that into account. So I found much more success in taking my specific issues and searching for a book rather than just relying on the algorithm of the internet to bring me what I need. The third habit I attempted was no screen time in the morning or at night. And obviously this is a very popular tip. A lot of people swear by this. If it works for you, amazing, love that for you, don't stop. But for me, saying no screen time in the morning just felt too restrictive. And whatever I would be doing instead of the screen time, like journaling or reading, I would just kind of be rushing to get through it so that I could get to my screen time. Now, is that kind of a problem? Probably. Do I want to work on it? No. So instead of no screen time, I try to have intentional screen time in the mornings and evenings. I like to sign up for email newsletters that I can read in the morning instead of just randomly scrolling. I really like the Morning Brew because I can read all of the day's news in a concise yet funny format. I like to look at Pinterest in the morning for recipes, for outfit inspo, for craft ideas. I just feel like Pinterest is a non-anxiety inducing social media for me. I love to do a crossword puzzle in the morning. Makes me feel very dignified, makes me feel like I'm 68 years old, I'm retired, I'm sitting on my rocking chair on my beachfront property sipping artisanal tea. I don't know if artisanal tea is even a thing, but that sounds like something I would know if I was 68 years old and did crossword puzzles. And then sometimes I will scroll. I'll just scroll through social media, but I try not to anxious scroll. I try to slow scroll. Actually read the captions, actually watch the whole video, maybe send it to somebody else if I find it funny or relatable. If I find myself anxious scrolling, then I'll be like, okay, we have to stop this. This isn't good. But yeah, otherwise intentional scrolling, slow scrolling instead of no screen time at all. The next habit that didn't work for me is affirmations, which if you don't know what an affirmation is, it's something that I'm going to Google and read to you. An affirmation is a positive statement that can help you challenge negative thoughts and feelings and improve your overall well-being. Thank you, Google's AI overview, for that very succinct and straightforward definition. Anyways, a lot of self-help gurus are like, write down your affirmations 15 times a day, put them on sticky notes, say it in your head, say it out loud, say it while you're sleeping, say it to your dentist while their hands are in your mouth. If you can say it while there's hands in your mouth, it'll definitely come true. And the issue I had with that was that the more that I heard it, the more I said it, the more I read it, it didn't ingrain those statements in me. They kind of lost their meaning. It's like when you say a word so much that it just doesn't mean anything anymore, like rhombus, 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 rhombus. See, now I don't know, is rhombus even a real shape, a real thing? I don't know, because I said the word too many times. So it was like the same thing with the affirmations. So what I've learned is that I get a lot of my confidence and motivation from other people, which, like, big surprise, the girl with the YouTube channel needs constant external validation to feel good about herself. Didn't see that coming. But what I do is I screenshot the nice comments and the nice DMs that I get from you guys, and also non-influencer things like nice text messages or emails that I get from friends or coworkers. Goose, I'm in the middle of something. Did you stop the man with the vacuum outside from vacuuming us up? You make a good point. We are not vacuumed, so I can't argue with them. What was I saying? Oh, I also will screenshot nice text messages or emails that I get from friends, coworkers, my boyfriend, family, whatever. And then I store them all in what I call my serotonin hub. When I need a little reminder that I'm a badass bitch doing good things in the world, I look at it, and I can look at it from anywhere because it's on my phone in Notion. And if you're curious about Notion and want to make your own serotonin hub or other databases to organize your life, then I would highly recommend the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives. They have thousands of classes led by industry experts on a very wide variety of topics, including photography, filmmaking, productivity, and, as I mentioned earlier, Notion. I'm obsessed with Notion. I use it for everything from storing recipes to tracking finances to travel planning to daily planning. It can pretty much just organize your entire life. But it does come with a little bit of a learning curve, which is where Skillshare's classes can come in handy. Their Notion masterclass, Maximize Your Productivity and Organization, has been great for helping me better understand formulas, templates, and relations. But they also have classes for a variety of skill levels. So if you just want to learn the basics, you can do that. But they also have classes that can help you level up your Notion skills so that you can build databases and streamline your life so that you have more time to spend with family, spend with your dog, spend laying in bed, sleeping, or watching other Skillshare videos that can help you further your other creative endeavors. So if you're like, amazing, I would love more time for those things, or if you've just been putting off learning photography all year, or creative writing, or video editing, then this is your sign that it's not too late to get started, because the first 500 people to sign up using the link in my description will get a free 1-month trial of Skillshare. So check that out so that you too can perhaps obsessively organize your whole life in Notion, or just hyperfixate on another new hobby that will become your whole personality. You know, possibilities are endless. Fifth habit is traditional journaling. We're using this little guy now because I'm going to be moving around I want to make sure you can still hear me. Now, journaling has a lot of benefits, and I do think that journaling can be beneficial to everyone. You just have to find the format that works for you and also your why. For me, just sitting down and writing, just like stream of consciousness the way some people do, it doesn't really do anything for me. And then also the prompt journals, like the 5-minute journals with the like, I'm grateful for this, I learned this today. Like, love that there's a prompt. I think that's great. We're moving in kind of the right direction for my brain, but still just not quite there for me. And that's probably because for me, I like to journal to remember. Like, that's my why. I'm not journaling for self-reflection. I'm not journaling because I love writing. I'm journaling so that something I don't want to forget is memorialized. Occasionally I will journal because I'm upset or confused about something, but that goes in a different journal. I have a separate journal for those thoughts. It's called my sad girl journal, and that's what I write in to vent, and I use it pretty rarely. But then I also have my scrapbook journal, and that is where I write down memories, and I don't just write down, I glue down like photos and mementos. So it's not a traditional scrapbook in the sense that there is quite a bit of writing involved, but then it's also not a traditional journal in the sense that there's a lot more visually happening. And that method allows me to create something that I actually want to look back on. It allows me to reflect without emphatically boring me. So if you try journaling and you're like, I don't get it, this is not for me, maybe just try. Maybe just try switching up the method and also figure out why you want to journal. Next habit that didn't work for me is a morning routine. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about the fact that I prefer morning menus over morning routines. So if you've already heard this a dozen times, so sorry, but I love it a lot, so I needed to include it. Also, I just got done putting all my sweaters and whatnot back into my closet, so enjoy a time lapse of that while we talk about this point. But basically, a morning routine to me feels too rigid. Like, these are the things you have to do every morning, and if you don't do them, you're a failure, and now go on with the rest of your day. Ha 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 ha, good luck feeling good about yourself. Whereas a menu, you have a bunch of options that you can choose from based on how you feel, which I think just gives you more control and it leaves more room for grace. For example, exercise. Instead of having that be part of my morning routine, it's part of my morning menu. It's an option so that if I wake up feeling super energetic, I can be like, all right, great, let's go to the gym, let's pick up heavy things, let's put them down. On the other hand, if I wake up feeling a little sluggish, I can be like, all right, let's go to the living room, let's do some cozy Pilates, let's maybe not put on shoes, let's not put our hair up, let's not sweat. And then on the other hand, if I wake up and I'm just like, nope, not today, then I don't have to exercise at all. And maybe I decide I want to take a longer shower and listen to one of my favorite podcasts. No matter which scenario I choose, I'm not beating myself up for not having done what the routine said to do. I just did what my mind and body needed that morning, and that's going to leave me feeling a lot better throughout the rest of the day instead of starting the day off feeling like a failure. So if you find that a morning routine feels too rigid to you too, if you find that you start a lot of days feeling like failure, consider making yourself a menu. And for our grand finale, we have taking random vitamins and supplements. Overall, it's pretty anticlimactic. Sometimes I just make these lists and I don't consider the order of them at all, so this might be a little bit boring to end on, but it is what it is. So the internet is filled with videos and influencers promoting vitamins and supplements and powders as these life-changing formulas. And I get why there's so many of these on the market. I get why people want to try them. It's because, at least here in America, we have a shit healthcare system that doesn't listen to its patients and is too expensive. And if I keep talking about it, I will go into a rage. But so obviously people are going to be more willing to try easy to access supplements over paying to go to the doctor only to be told that their symptoms are because of anxiety. Hi, that's me. That happened to me. Wasn't anxiety, was a literal physical problem that needed physical therapy, but super glad it took us 3 years to come to that conclusion. 3 years of misery. For me, loved that. So I get it. I get the draw of the supplements, of the vitamins, of the powders, but I think one of the issues is that people take them thinking that there's no consequence or no side effect. fact. And that's not always entirely true, especially because a lot of vitamins are sold in excessively high dosages. For instance, biotin, super popular supplement for hair growth. Now, the daily recommended dose of biotin for an adult is 30 micrograms, but most supplements that you see on the market are sold in 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 microgram dosages. So way, way, way more than you actually need if you're just a regular person without a biotin deficiency. And like, is it gonna kill you? Probably not, but it can skew the results of certain tests, like thyroid tests. So it's really important to tell your doctor what supplements you're taking. And then there can be weird, unexpected side effects. Like, I took a garlic supplement for a little bit because I read that it helped lower blood pressure, and I had high blood pressure for a little bit. So I was taking this garlic and I had to pee a lot, and I thought that I had a urinary tract infection. But turns out, nope, those little garlic capsules, also diuretic. So I was very close to going to the doctor and spending a bunch of money on some tests and antibiotics for UTI, when all I really needed to do was just stop taking the garlic supplements. So my point, I know supplements, powders, vitamins, I know they're tempting. They promise a lot of great things, but I'm telling you now, most of it is empty promises. And if you're just blindly taking supplement recommendations from whoever you see on TikTok, you're probably gonna end up wasting a lot of money on vitamins and minerals that your body already has and doesn't need more of. So I really recommend just talking to your doctor, getting tested for vitamin deficiencies, and we're getting towards the end of this video and my body is just like getting a little uncomfortable and I'm getting weird because I get weirder towards the end of videos. I'm getting tired. Also getting kind of sweaty in this sweater. It's very thick. But talk to your doctor, get tested for vitamin deficiencies, and then work with them to figure out what supplements you might need. Like for me, I was losing my hair and having a lot of scalp issues a couple years ago. I went to my dermatologist and he told me that I should take Nutrafol because it's the only hair supplement that is actually proven to work, like medically or scientifically or whatever. So I was like, all right, great. Like that completely narrowed down my options because there's so many hair growth supplements and oils and bullshit on the market. But I was like, I went to the doctor, he examined me, he knows my health history, and he was able to recommend what I should take instead of me just like randomly trying things. So if you have vitamins or supplements that already help you, great, keep taking them. If you think you need something, if you think you are deficient in something, go to the doctor. I know it sucks. I know it's the worst, but go let them know your concerns. Try to get tested for things because it's just going to be so much more efficient to work with somebody who's an expert, who knows your health history, to find the right vitamins and supplements for you. At the end of the day, most of the vitamin and supplement companies, they're really just trying to get your money. They're not actually trying to help you. So, don't give them the satisfaction. Get it right the first time. All right, so that's it. If you have other habits that you would like to share that you found helpful, please drop those in the comments. Again, if you do any of the original life-changing habits that I mentioned and they do work for you, that's great. This is not me telling you to not do them. This is just me sharing some alternatives if you've tried them and you don't like them. So if you have found that to be the case, I hope this gave you some ideas for how you can tweak those popular habits to make them work for you. All right, so leave a thumbs up if you like this video and make sure to I can never say make sure to subscribe. I just said it right there. It always comes out as whatever. Oh my god. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see future videos, if you don't want to miss future videos. I know you don't want to miss this face, okay? So subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Bye. I realized that Goose wasn't in this video at all, so I had him come in here to say hello. Hey buddy. Do you have anything you'd like to say to your fans? It's fascinating. Anyways, I know that you guys secretly like him more than me, so I didn't want to make a video without him in it. Alright, goodbye.